Well, hello there and greetings, everyone. Welcome to another fun CyberCast IRL. It is Friday, September the 5th, 1955. For those of you that get there. No, was it November the 5th? I can't remember now. October the 5th. One of those fifths. Remember the 5th of November. I'm losing my mind, but today it's 2025. We're having a good time today, messing up all our pop culture references from the 80s. And that's what we do here at CyberCast IRL. Good morning, everyone. I'm your host, Daniel Lowry. For those of you that are new today, what we do here is talk a little cybersecurity stuff, right? Anything. It's on the table. Throw it out there. You want to talk jobs. You want to talk search. You want to talk skills, tools, whatever, right? Red team, blue team, purple team, zebra team, polka dot teams, it don't matter. If it's cyber related, that's where we get down. We have a lot of fun doing it, hopefully anyway. Hopefully I'm coming through live at 5. I was super rushed this morning to get into the studio because we did jaw jacking with Jerry, and then Jerry and I were like having really good conversation, just kind of tumbled into that after. And then I'm like, oh no, I got to go in to get CyberCast ready. He's like, okay, bounce. And now I'm just feeling like I don't even need my energy drink this morning, but you know we will. You know we will. If you're a first timer, let us know. Drop something in the chat. Say, hey, I'm a newbie here, man. What's going on? How is everyone? We got a great community of people. Everybody give you a warm welcome if you're new. We're so glad to have you today. And it's going to be a lot of fun today because I'm sure that some great questions will come up. And hopefully we got some good answers for you as well. So topics, questions, we do a little bit of AMA. We do a little bit of everything. Sometimes I'll even have something prepared or at least thought about to bring up as a topic if we need it. But a lot of times we just start bantering and it's super, super fun. All right, let's check in with the chat and see who's in here today. And of course, as we do, kind of run through how this show works if you want to kind of get my attention and things of that nature. So let me get this where it needs to go. And that way I can see, because my mouse is not helping me. Here we go. So if you want to hang out with us, you can go into the chat. That's the wrong screen. Daniel, wrong screen. It goes here. Booyah. You jump in the chat, and if you want to get my attention, you see like Wes Bryan right there. Says 5th of Jack Daniels. But he added my name, and it made it really easy for me to see his funny reference about a 5th of Jack Daniels. Carrie did the same thing. Polka dot team sounds cool. It very well may. Who knows what we could do with that one, right? And Carrie and West seem to be taking over the chat this morning, but everybody jump when we see LeGrat. We got not only IT, Bram Weitzman, Wayne's Real World. He does back cleanup, so if I miss something, if you're trying to get my attention, I might miss it. I am a human. It does happen. Just be ready for that. But no bigs. He'll try to grab that for us so that I can see it and kind of help out. Let me move things around. I told you I was so discombobulated this morning. I just feel like I have decapitated poultry syndrome right now. So this needs to go here. Let me do this as I get my studio the way it should be. Daniel, you're dumb. Why do you do dumb things? Because I'm an idiot, and that's how it works. Stupid, stupid me. Put stupid, stupid me there. And then, yes. Okay. Okay, I think that's something. And then there's that. Yeah, it's fun to watch me rearrange my whole life just because, hey, every now and then you got to take some chats with people like Jerry. Where did the chat go? Now I've lost the chat. You will return to me, chat. Restore the chat. Pop out the chat, please. Pop out chat. Booyah. My goodness. You're watching me descend into madness today, everyone, but it's going to be fun. Now, another thing we like to do for our show is what we like to call the morning pour. And I know a lot of you are ready for the pour. And if you're not familiar with what that is I usually need some tackling fuel. I usually need to get going. And it used to be where I only did this once a week. And I think that's something we need to discuss today because it's come to my attention, not just from outside, but from inside as well, that the morning pour is a special thing. It's our wondrous little thing that we do every Friday morning that kind of gets things going. And I've been drinking too much Monster. But let's get to the pour so everybody understands what that is. Where I take this lovely camo cup right here. It's got a nice cup of ice in it. It's going to be amazing. And then I grab a Monster energy drink because that's what I drink because I love it. Zero sugar Monster energy drinks is just like, it's how I roll. I find no wrong in how they do things. today we are going to be using a Ultra Fiesta Mango, which I haven't had in a while. So it's going to be nice to have this go down the gullet. And then we do a little ASMR where I point the microphone just so, and we get a crack. You guys ready? You guys ready to start the pour? Because let's just get that going. And there we go. We get that crack. Oh, big pop at the end. Nice, nice, nice. And then from there, we take the cup. We get it. Actually, I should move the mic again. We get it just so, and a little ASMR for your morning. Oh, it's real fizzy. Real fizzy this morning. Good stuff. It smells delicious, by the way. It smells amazing. All right, let's give it a good old pull and see how it goes. Oh, that is good. More mango for me, please. Thank you. Oh, that's good. That's so good. I don't know how they do it over there. I say this all the time, but it's just so refreshing and delicious. Now, I have found that the proper way to do a Monster Energy drink pour is over ice. You got to get the whole thing. That way, because if you drink straight from the can, it's a little too carbonated. If you let it sit too much, it can get too flat. You got to get that just right. It's that Goldilocks spot. And over ice, just like that, tends to be just right. But like I said, this is a special thing. This is a special time for us. They just make my day with this junk. I don't even know how to describe how much I love Monster Energy drink. It's very tasty. It's very refreshing. Let's see here. David Tui is saying mango aftertaste will be bad. It doesn't. There's no aftertaste. It's just nice, smooth, delish. I have no problem with what's going on here. Very good. So much liquid love. Yeah, it's great stuff. But I've been thinking about After Dark, and we've been doing a pour there as well. And I don't know that we should continue doing that. I want to hear from you guys out there. I'm wondering if maybe we do something different for After Dark because we have a guest, and I feel like it's intruding on the guest's time because we typically have a guest in After Dark, or we have so far. I'm sure there'll be times when I'm unable to procure someone due to scheduling conflicts or whatever. But yeah, let me know what you think about figuring out something else, something's different but still special for After Dark, and just leaving the pour to being the morning pour. I feel like that's where we should go with this. But you guys let me know, and I'll of course read all the chats. I probably won't be able to get to it today, but I will. Tech Ricky, right out of the gate, late night cheers with the guest. That could be a great way to go, right? So something different. If you want to, there's a Discord channel. You can jump down into the description of this episode, click the link, go to join us in Discord and start that conversation there in the general chat. I think that'd be there is a Morning Pour channel in the Discord server. So join the server, get in that Discord channel, and talk amongst yourselves about what you think we should do with the After Dark to replace the evening pour, something different. I already got one good suggestion. So Carrie is saying, I need to get a guest from Monster Energy. That would be cool. I don't know how much that. Maybe they have a cyber team, and we could get someone from there. We'll all wear everything Monster. Just Monster shirt, Monster hat. I'll tattoo, Ultra Zero on my forehead. I'll get like the 3 monster lines down my cheek. It'll be fun. Everybody will love it. All right, let's get into some cyber talk now that that's out of the way. Actually, it's still so good. So if you got your questions, throw them in the chat. You got something you want to talk about, throw it in the chat. I'm going to go looking at my notes today and see what I got. Because I knew I grabbed a couple of things. Oh, you know what I did? I did grab something I was looking at today. And this could be, where is that at? Where is that at? That it? No. This is going to be, oh, I got it right here. What am I told you guys I'm losing my mind. And you're reaping all the benefits. But more of a business-centered thing, and Jerry had this going on today as well, is Let me get my, whoa, almost kicked over the can. Let me get the browser up here and paste that and go. Saw this morning. Broadcom is at it again. $69 billion domino effect, how VMware's debt-fueled acquisition is killing open source one repository at a time. And apparently Broadcom, the wonderful, wonderful people that have purchased VMware, making our lives so amazing with that. Now, if you remember when they purchased VMware, they decided, oh, this whole giving you stuff for free thing, that's not going to be good. We don't like that. We like making money. And there's nothing wrong with making money. But there is something wrong with greed. And there is a line that you cross from going, hey, we're making money and everybody's got some money in their pockets, and to, I love money. I want nothing but money. Money is my God, and I would bow before it. Like, that's where the problem kind of comes in. And it feels like that might be the case with this kind of thing, because now that they've purchased Bitnami, they're talking about, and if you're not familiar with Bitnami, Bitnami is a container service. Bitnami. So if we go looking for that, you can see it now has a Broadcom logo. Bitnami, secure images, right? Gain confidence, control, and visibility of your software supply chain. Excuse me. Supply chain security with production-ready open source software delivered continuously in hardened images with minimal CVEs and transparency you can trust. Security through transparency. So they give you all these secured containers, but now that Broadcom owns it, they're basically going, hey, remember how that was free? Yeah, that's not what we do here. So they're talking about change the premium services starting $72,000 a year, according to AWS Marketplace. So, that's a bit different. That is a different world for us. And we don't, you know what I mean? Like, and then that brings up the question of how are more companies going to try to take advantage of our dependency on FOSS, free and open source software? Because so many organizations build, and even some people that start off small and work their way into being mid and large size organizations, they did that on the backs of a lot of open source stuff. Free things that are out there, you bring them in and you utilize them because it's free and it does the job. And if you have something like Bitnami, which is like, hey, we're making sure we're giving you the most secure version of that possible, that could be bad for us to be able to lose that. All of a sudden they're pulling the rug out from underneath all your foundations and going, hey, gonna need that money, kid. What are you gonna do? You gonna pay? I mean, your whole business model is built on the back of that free and open source software. And now that I own it, I want money for it. It's no longer free and open source for you. So whether or not that's going to be Bitnami, I guess Bitnami and Broadcom, I don't know. Looks like that is what is on the chopping block, but really interesting stuff. Let me jump into chat here and see what you guys are saying. See if I can see what's going on. What's happening in the worlds of Lord Christmas. I was way off. I love that. Just making sure I didn't miss any questions. Of course, if you have questions, you got comments about this, don't forget to @ my name. If I miss something, Wayne will try to get my attention. He'll spam me. Let's see here. All right. David Tui asking about playing around with Labshock. We can get to that in just a moment. Got a brand new laptop. We have any specific licenses to combat that? Phil Stafford says, don't we have specific licenses to combat that? They do, right? Like GPL, open source licensing. But if someone purchases that software and then closes the source, right? Or they just don't make it available. Like if I own that code and you can have the older version, but you won't get any updates. You won't get any access to the new thing. And as that source code becomes more sifted through by security researchers and attackers alike, they find new vulnerabilities. The old code that you're still relying on is going to be more vulnerable, right? So you're opening yourself up to vulnerability. If you're unable to get those updates because it's behind a paywall now, that could be a problem. I remember a couple of years ago, there was a developer, I forget exactly what they were developing, but it became like a very relied upon open source piece of software. And he was kind of upset that all these big companies were using that software to their own advantage to make tons of money. And they weren't giving back to the open source community. They weren't like making incubators or trying to do anything to help the open source community. So he closed down the Git repo or whatever it was, wherever he got it from, and was like, cool, it's my stuff. I can shut it down anytime I want. And all of a sudden these businesses were like, well, this is kind of like stealing, isn't it? It's like, this should be illegal. You're basically hacking and dropping all, this is like a denial of service attack to us. You're like, I mean, you okay? Maybe you got, like, it becomes this weird philosophical gray area on whether or not does that guy own that code that he wrote and makes available for free, and now that the entire world depends on, if he snatches that rug out from underneath this, is he the bad guy? Because he's got now like a bone to pick with how it's being used, right? It's weird. It's such a weird thing. It's weird. It's been the week today. Like everything that I've kind of like looked at this week has all been these weird philosophically ambiguous gray areas of should we or should we not do, or at least ethically gray areas of which, is that right? Is that wrong? How does that work now that everybody's depending on it? Is it become like almost like a public entity where it's water, oil, gas kind of stuff where we need that? I can't live without it. I don't know if we've crossed that line on a lot of things, but I thought it was an interesting topic to see and something for us to keep in mind as we're building out our software bill of materials. Does our third parties rely on stuff like this? I don't know. All right, let's get into chat. Let's just food for thought there. Right? I just thought it was an interesting article and something for you guys to keep your minds open to. All right, let me get a drink here and I'll look into the chat and see if we can get some questions. Get some questions in there for me and let's start talking. Or is something interesting that you came across this week? I just saw FedEx jump in the room or in the chat. He brought up something as well, and I think also White Hat Sheepdog. I don't know if he's here today. You both kind of in different ways gave me the same article about some AI stuff, and it was really cool. So let's see here. Victor Rosa. So let's check out Victor Rosa. Victor Rosa says, hey, bought a new laptop, brand new laptop. I used a forensic software photo rec. I recovered files that were not even mine. I thought that the laptop was brand new. Thoughts? It was probably returned and they just sold it as new. That happens from time to time, but brings up a really good security risk for that, right? That when you buy something, it's the same idea of zero trust environments. Do not trust. It's kind of cool that you ran some forensic software on there and said, I wonder. I mean, I can probably assume that no one's ever used this laptop before, but who knows? You never know. And you did find something. Now, you'd have to really, I don't know what files that you recovered. You just said they were files that were not yours. Maybe they do a setup and testing before it leaves the manufacturer. That could be a possibility, that it runs through the assembly line and the first thing they do is run through it, make sure that everything works. So it's like basically QA testing, quality assurance. And they create a user, they log in and make sure that it connects to the internet, check the Wi-Fi, make sure that works, make sure that all the ports work, upload, download files, and that kind of stuff. And that could be where it comes from. And then they go, cool, now reblast it with Windows again, like do a refresh or reinstall, and then stick it in the box, shrink wrap it, and ship it. So that could just be the last part of their QA. It's all going to depend on what you see in those files. What kind of files are they? Are they actually looking like user data files? Because if they are, that's crazy. Because, yeah, you probably bought something that was in the refurb pile and not the new pile, and they accidentally got them switched up, or they just... I don't want to throw any shade on it, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that it was an accident that you got a refurbed laptop instead of a brand new one. But you never know. It could happen. Some unscrupulous company out there, I'm sure, has done that before. Tyler Ramsby's in the house. What's up? I see Jesse Johnson in the house as well. Thank you, Victor Rosa, for such a great question. Or just not a question, but a thought-provoking little situation that you found yourself in. I see TJ Williams showing up as well. Phil Stafford, Jonathan Gresham, welcome, welcome, welcome. Alice Grimm, always good to have you. David Tui asked me, any more playing around with Labshock? I have not had the time to play with any more Labshock. I'm so jealous because it is such a cool environment. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, let me bring this up here. Let's go check out Labshock. Labshock. This is an OT security lab that we talked about last week. I actually did it. We didn't talk about it last week because I wasn't here last week. I was actually in a job interview. But yeah, Labshock is a cool thing. I did a video about it on how to get it installed. It's very simple, very straightforward, but also super awesome. So like if you click SCADA emulation, this is kind of what it looks like right here. And tell me that's not awesome. You get this whole SCADA environment with pumps and valves and tanks and readouts and all sorts of stuff. And I've already seen some people playing around with it in our Discord. Very, very fun. I have quickly become a fan of this. And since OT needs all the help it can get, and if you want to specialize in something that most people don't specialize in, this is a great way to start getting your feet wet in that. So if you need some help with that, obviously, check my YouTube, tube.com/@Daniel I have a video on that. So to help you get up and running, if you need it, it is fairly straightforward, but there it is right there. And let me drop that video in the chat. We don't need the commercial. Thank you. Just copy. And I'll drop that in the chat for those of you that need it or want to go check that out. Very fun stuff. I'll also give you the Labshock. Copy that, throw that in there. But it will give you some great times learning about PLCs, learning about OT, ICS, SCADA systems, and you can do, where'd it go? Where'd it go? There's some pen testing stuff in there. Yeah, booyah, pen test. There you go, key features. You get a whole pen testing shell and everything to start messing around with this thing. Very, very cool stuff. I think you're really going to enjoy it. At the very least, it's going to give you the ability to say, hey, I've messed around a little bit with some SCADA, some OT, some PLCs. I've learned a little bit about Modbus. And I had an environment that kind of made that all tangible, and it was super easy to work with. I just spun it up inside of a Kali VM. So I just created a Kali VM, git cloned the repo, spun it up, Docker Compose up, I think was all you got to do. And bada bing, bada boom, I'm logging in. It was all phenomenal. And it gives you some exposure to that. So that's going to allow you to speak with more authority, more understanding to that kind of system. So very, very cool. And yeah, good question. I really enjoyed it. I think you're going to like it. Let's see here. What else is going on here? Got a lot of Slay Security Plus and Red Team content creators in the house. Did the Labshock thing not come through? I see that, but where did I not get that in there? Sorry. Copy. Paste. Oh, I didn't hit go. Booyah. It's sitting in my chat. I told you all I'm crazy this morning. All right, let's see here. It looks like we're caught up on chats. Let's go to this thing here real quick. Let me bring this up here. This is going to be crazy. You guys are going to freak out about this. And I don't want a video. Here we go. I'll go with this. No, that's not what I want. Stinking sponsored. I guess I'll have to go grab it from Discord. And I'll thank FedEx and Whitehead Sheepdog, both of you guys, for dropping this. Because very cool. Where'd it go? It's in, was it in general? Where'd you guys put that? It's this AI robots that has, I'm guessing it's in topic suggestions. There we go. Yeah. Right? FedEx, where did you put that? Oh, there it is, right there. I just overscroll. Oh, it is a YouTube video. You got a YouTube video. So I'll drop this in the chat for you. No. Man, I'm losing my mind today. It's going to be the worst. Copy link. Chat. Where'd you go, chat? There you are. Booyah. Paste. This AI robot has actual muscles. They've developed all this like technology to give it a beating heart, to give it a like all these they're like pneumatic muscles that use I'm thinking to myself, this is where the end, right? This is the new robot. We thought they were going to look like Terminators, but they're actually going to look like people that don't have skin with clear muscles running around with AI in their brain and killing us all. But why can I? But here you go. Everybody can kind of like look at that and check that out. Thought that would be an interesting topic for all of us today. Let me get back. I am. You know what I need? I need a little hit. All right. So let's see here. We do have some questions now rolling in. Alice Grimm. Always good for a good question, Alice. You are a treasure to our chat. What was the lab you had most fun creating or playing with? Was there anything you learned that surprised you? Ooh, see, I knew you were going to bring something good like this because this is a difficult question. There's always usually something cool about labs. Labs can be frustrating to get up and running, but once you get going, I will say this week I messed around with, because I'm creating that Pentest Plus course. I'm trying to finish stuff up. So I've been building a lot of labs, like a lot of labs. And one that kind of stuck out for me was Caldera. And if you haven't messed around with Caldera, I'll do a YouTube video because that's my plan right now is to do a YouTube video. Let me do this Caldera miter and stinking sponsored. I hate sponsored. Here we go. If you haven't messed with this, this is worth checking out. So this is what's called a breach and attack simulation tool. And Caldera is really, really primo. It's a really nice piece of equipment here. You're going to like it. So it does autonomous adversary emulation, right? So what does Caldera do? Caldera helps cybersecurity professionals reduce the amount of time and resources needed for routine cybersecurity testing. Caldera employs or empowers cyber teams in four main ways. Autonomous adversary emulation. And this is kind of like the really cool thing that it does. With Caldera, your cyber team can build a specific threat adversary profile and launch it in the network to see where you might be susceptible. So the purpose of it is to kind of like test your defensive tools without needing to go necessarily and get a red team or a pen test done. You can kind of do some of that work on your own using these types of tools. And so when I was a systems administrator and a net admin, I did that for 8 years. And we had one pen test every year and I want to say 2 or 3 audits. And one of those audits were always our own. We did that ourselves. We did an internal audit of our systems and security. And then we had so for my department, like my department did our own audit. And then we had our company that we worked for, they audited us. And then the company would bring in an outside auditor to audit our organization as well. So we did 3 audits. And then we had one pen test, which was obviously an external organization, a pen testing firm that would come and do our pen test every year. So if we had this back then, that would have been awesome because we just had to do everything manually. We had to run our own scans. We had to look at, doing asset discovery and host discovery and all that stuff and inventorying and checking updates and looking for those kind of things just kind of manually to get ready for those audits and that pen test. And we did fairly well because we did that. But man, this would really this kind of stuff would have really shot us over the moon because it has all these built-in capabilities to test our defenses to see how well they're working. Did we get an alert? Did we get something? Did the IDS do the thing? Did the malware, I guess at the time EDR was just becoming a thing around that time. So did the AV and EDR systems that were primordially there do their job? Were permissions set up correctly? Were we able to gain access to things like this? Can do a lot of that. And then you can look and see, hey, I'm checking it out. What's going on? So test and evaluate detections, analytics, and response platforms. It's going to enable your teams to do that. You can also do your own manual red team engagements. So this can act as kind of like your own framework to do your own red teaming. So I know a lot of pen testers and red teams, they'll use something like this preliminarily to just give you like an autonomous kind of pen test. A lot of teams now are kind of offering, or teams, but firms are offering more of a, hey, we can do an autonomous pen test for you a few times a year or continuously or whatever the case is. And they'll use tools like this to make that happen. So this was a really cool tool. It was not very difficult to get spun up, but there's a plugin library as well. We can go look at that. So Sandcat is kind of their trademark plugin. You build all these agents and things of that nature. It's built in Golang, and this will beacon to the C2 server. So it has C2-ish like capabilities. So giving you that kind of fundamental, and you know how much I love a C2. As soon as I heard C2, I was like, I'm in. It's going to be awesome. So like I said, I've got to do a stinking YouTube video about this thing and kind of show you how you get this working. It's got tons of documentation. So this one right here has just been super, super cool. Let's see if we can go back. Yeah, I don't think they have any really good. Let's go to their GitHub. Where's the GitHub? I saw it. Where'd it go? Did you guys see GitHub? I don't see it now. I could have swore I saw their contributing. That's contributing. Join on Discord discussions. I guess we're going here. Why no straight up link to just this on the main page? You would think that's exactly like the link you would have is go straight here. Git clone this monkey. Right now you can install it directly, I think, but this is going to have a lot of really great information on what it can do. So these are the default plugins. So Access, it does have Atomic Red Team TTP stuff in there. Atomic Red Team being a similar product. So if you're not familiar, Atomic Red Team, another BAS or breach and attack simulation from Red Canary. Right? A lot of fun stuff right here. Key benefits, kind of giving you the same kind of idea of how that's going. Very similar. And probably more popular, honestly. I don't hear a lot of people using Caldera, but they're sleeping on it, man. This thing has got a lot of functionality. Caldera for OT. Maybe use it against the Labshock lab. That would be fun. I don't even know if you can do that. That could be cool. Right? Debrief operations. What else can you do in here? Create simulated noise on endpoint. Right? A lot of cool stuff and capabilities. There's your requirements. So if you do want to do an install, you can go through this. Obviously, if you're using pip to install a lot of things, you probably want to go with a virtual environment on that so you don't bork up all your your Kali or whatever, because you know how dependency hell goes. It's a lot of fun, but nobody really enjoys being there. But as for me, I'm like, oh, you got Docker? Yeah, that's going to be the great way to go. And this is basically what you do to make it run. So I guess it wasn't a Docker compose file, but Docker build. You just follow the bouncing ball here and you can get it up and running. Very cool stuff. So there you go. That's my long answer to, be prepared for the for the YouTube video that will drop as soon as I film it and post it, which should be within a few days. I've just been busy, super busy. Where are we at? Okay, we're at 10:34. I need to check in with chat. I need to get a drink. Let's see what's going on. Chatterifics. Hello. Man, that Windows like snap, the Windows snap thing, I hate that thing. I got to turn that off if I can. So let's see. There was Alice's. Okay. Zero Day Security. I love that name. I love that name, Zero Dave Security. That is awesome. First time watching live, and I am normally working around this time. Just wanted to say thank you for the amazing content. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're so glad to have you here today. And your awesome, awesome screen name. That is just a great name. Furious George in the house. I've been working on AI to help me create a capstone project ideas for learning my Net Plus cert. I wish this is something the company that won't be named offered back in the day. Yeah, well, AI was only like around and usable at that level for just a short while before the company that shall not be named decided to fold up their doors. And now apparently they've decided to unfold the doors. At least to some extent. I heard there's like an A+ course that they've dropped, and some people, not me, said that, it was that the standards had dropped a bit when it come to the training that they offer. It's weird. That's the word on the street. That's what I heard. It's all hearsay. Divine Dream Divine, hello. Good morning to you. So glad to see you. I see Abe is in the house as well. All right, let's see here. Furious George, I am wasting time with doing a capstone project. Or am I wasting my time doing a capstone project? Would love to get your thoughts on this practice. So, are you doing a capstone project for like school? Are you in school? Is that what you're doing? Are you in like a degree program and you're building a capstone project for that? Or you're just doing one for yourself? I don't think that that's a problem. I think that that's a good thing. You're going to learn a lot trying to build some. Basically, this is just, another way to say home labbing. Unless you're doing a project. So I did a capstone project for my degree program back when I was in ITT Tech. So the last thing I had to do in my associate's degree, because that's as far as I went, because I ran out of money and I got poor. I was unable to continue going to school. But let me know. Furious George, you're right. The view in the review. Oh, you're talking about the courses. But yeah, let me know if you're actually in a degree program or if you're just doing it for yourself. Bearded ID Dad in the house. What's up, Dakota? Good to see you. Just trying to keep an eye on chat to see if Andrew lets me know what's up. But no, it's a good use of your time. Anytime you're building something from the ground up and you're learning and you're getting hands-on experience with stuff. So it's not a waste of time, especially if it's toward a specific end. You're not just doing stuff for the sake of doing stuff. You have to have purpose behind what it is you're building. You're trying to gain X, Y, and Z experiences and skills. Otherwise, you're just tilting at windmills, right? Let's see here. He's just doing it yourself. Okay, this is not a degree program. He says, I have an SSF Dell Optiplex that's juiced up with 48 gigs of RAM for VMs. All right, that's cool. Nah, I think that's great. It's just, that's what it is. Home labbing, anybody that knows me, I'm always like, y'all got to be home labbing. That's why I do all these YouTube videos on like, here's a resource. Like, okay, here we go. I enjoy platforms. I enjoy learning platforms that offer you things like study guides and labs and walkthroughs and all that other fun stuff. I want to warn you. I'm trying to figure out how to say this without being a jerk, because it's not what I'm trying to convey. What I'm trying to say is be careful about leaning too heavily on those systems. Should you use them? Yes, you should. Should that be the only way you've ever got experience with stuff? No, it should not. That's my opinion. Okay? You may disagree, and that's cool. And there's pros and cons to doing both things. But if you can do both things, why would you not do both things? And I can hear it right now. But Daniel, I don't have the time to build these things. You're preaching to the choir. I get it. Get up a little earlier and spend 30 minutes. Like, get up 30 minutes earlier and go, today, I'm going to spin up Labshock. It's going to take me 30 minutes, and I'm not going to be able to play with it for very long, but I will be able to get it spun up. And then tomorrow, I'm going to get up 30 minutes earlier, and I'm going to be able to spin it up probably within 5 minutes instead of 30. And now I can kind of start kicking through the thing and clicking on the stuff and see what it does and just explore. Cool, 30 minutes is up. Tomorrow, after that, now I'm going to focus on that one piece of the lab. I want to explore that, learn the ins and outs of what's going on, just get familiarized and immersed into that system. Cool. And right, every time you do that, just 30 minutes a day, and you too could sponsor some great learning inside of your own brain, but you are doing it. You're the one that's pushing to build those things. You're the one that's like getting in there, getting a hands-on experience, struggling through, why doesn't this work? Why doesn't this work? And there's no, support. The best you could do if it was like a GitHub thing that you download, you go to the issues tab and go, hey, I'm getting an error. And that does happen. But guess what? That's submitting a ticket. That would be true if you were in the field and you were trying to do something and it didn't work and you were relying on said software. So that in and of itself is good experience. If you're just like, restart the lab inside of Try Hack Me. Cool, everything's working. Now I can just do the thing. And there is time for that. There is call for you to do that. Right? I personally don't like the HTML5 Kali, attack systems where you're it's a little clunky for me. I enjoy VPNing. That's just it's one man's opinion. You can yay or nay on that. But if you spend too much time through systems that hold your hand, you never get away from Papa behind you on the bicycle going, okay there, little kid, you're doing it. You're doing great. Oh, baby, you're so good. You got to let go. You got to let go from at one point and go, can I actually ride this bike? Can I do these things? Because guess what? Once you get out there into the real world, because it has happened, someone's going to walk up to you and throw you a thumb drive and go, hey, install that and get it up and running in a test environment. And tell me how it works. We're thinking about going with this software. We're thinking about working with this. Tell me what the pros and cons are. Tell me, that's going to be your responsibility one day. So start doing that now. So when you sit that interview seat, you go, oh yeah, I spent a lot of time building. I build a lot of things. You get tons of projects that I work on. I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. And you just start rattling off the laundry list of things that you've built and that you've worked with so that they can go, oh, wow, that's impressive. Right? And then so I can build that stuff up really quickly. And then I also have done those environments. I've worked with them for testing purposes, for learning. There's, like yesterday I was doing an API one with this one called Vampy. Gives you an API that you can test against and has a bunch of OWASP top 10 API vulns in it. And now you can use things like Postman and Burp Suite and all that stuff to learn API testing. There's another one called Crappy, right? CRAPI, right? You get the joke. so funny. The rib tickler. So there you go. Yeah. Build things. Bearded IT Dad saying, speak it. I only speak what I think, right? Furious George says, thank you for your insight. I'm going to keep tweaking my capstone project idea with Gemini and then start to execute it. Awesome. You know what, though? If you've got the bare bones, if you got the skeleton, go ahead and just start. You're going to find some interesting things that happen along that way. Do not rob yourself of the struggling your way through things. There's a lot of good stuff that happens in those moments that you can't recreate. That ChatGPT or whatever AI you're using is just going to kind of give you this is how it's supposed to go, right? So just get the idea of what you want to build and start building it, and then work your way through all the rough spots that happen throughout that. It's going to be good stuff. It's going to suck in the moment you're in it, but then when you get done, you're going to be like, yeah, boy, what's up? Your boy did it. It works. Look at that. It's running. It's sending packets. It's doing this. I'm getting alerts. I'm doing whatever. Oh, look at this. The logs are starting to flow. Whatever it is that you're working on, when you made that happen, no better feeling, right? No better feeling. Let's see here. MX05 says, hey, Daniel Lowry, great content as always. Oh, Wes Bryant, hold on. Wes Bryant had a good point. Document those builds. That's exactly right. Document, and make it professional. Don't make it janky. Don't make it bootleg. Like, do real documentation. All this experience that comes to me. Everybody's talking about, like, how am I supposed to get experience if I can't have a job? Like, I was there. I used to sit and I called it the experience paradox, where I can't get a job because I don't have experience, but I can't get experience because I don't have a job. It's like, yes, I get that. But nowadays, you can break that cycle. You can get it because of the ability to build. Get your hands on stuff. Free trials. Cool. It only gives me 10 days, whatever. I'm going to use 10 days to my utmost advantage, and I'm going to drop that VM like a bad transmission, spin up another, and get another 10 days out of it. And yeah, but through all that, you're going to get fast. You're going to get familiar, right? Having to redo that stuff over and over and over again. So good point, Wes. Thank you, Wes. Wes Bryant. My brother from another mother. So anyway, MX05. Great content as always. Enjoy your videos. As a beginner in ethical hacking, what is the best laptop for overall performance and longevity today? Appreciate your response. Great question. Depends on are you going to be using the laptop as your VM system? It's kind of like your one size fits all solution for all that you want to do with learning ethical hacking? Or are you going to have a lab environment of a couple of maybe older machines that you have stuff installed on, you're running some Docker containers? Because a lot of us kind of have this mixed bag in our labs. So I've got an old, a 2013 iMac. I've got my B-Link that runs this that you're seeing me stream with. I got another B-Link for my VM environments. They're SER8s that you can find on Amazon, about $500. And then I really need to get an affiliate link for that thing because I push it so much. But it's a beast, man. These little things run like champions. Then I've got what else am I running? I think that's basically my setup at this point. I'm sorry. I have a laptop. I've got a 2020 Lenovo laptop. And then when I need just something quick and dirty, I've got an older not an Optiplex, but a Dell E6500. I think it's 15 years old, but I slapped a full 8 gigs of RAM. It cost me all of $40 for the entire setup. And I can use it for specific things. It still has functionality left in it. But if you're looking at you're just one and done, this is my thing that I'm going to use. So MacBooks are pretty good. They have great hardware. I don't like Mac OS at all, but you can use VMware Fusion, which is very solid as a platform for virtualization. And the hardware is phenomenal. Not going to lie, right? Those M chips are crazy. Now, of course, you got to start thinking about how that's ARM architecture, and there's some hardware compatibility issues still around that. So just keep that in mind. Your mileage may vary if you go with an M series MacBook, but the hardware is phenomenal, and it will last you. If you're thinking going the traditional PC route, I've had a lot of experience with Lenovo laptops, and they tend to work pretty well. I haven't had them die. This is a little Lenovo laptop right here. I've had that thing for 5 years, and it's been a champion. I barely ever turn it off. It just runs. It does a good job. I have been interested in I've seen HP has some gaming laptops that could possibly be pretty good for you. So you can get things like 32 gigs of RAM in it. So I don't have anything off the top of my head that I can go buy the HP, blah, blah, blah. Go buy the Lenovo jankety jank, and that's going to be your best bet, blah, blah, blah. Just look at the hardware specs. Anything newer, I would be pretty leery of anything of Intel generation chips between, I think, 11 and 12 or 13. They had some problems with virtualization. I want to say that is. Anybody knows about that in chat, please drop that because that's good information for everybody to know that those specific chips in VMware don't like each other very much. And you can have issues. Your mileage may vary. Just keep that in mind. All right, like here. Bearded IT Desk says, you are making me want to do a live stream tonight. Hey, get it done, son. You know we'll show up. It'll be awesome. Live streaming's fun because you just get to get in here and go, whatever, right? We're having fun. We're doing the thing. It's not a serious thing. You don't have to have demos ready, but it's a lot of fun to do. Let's see here. What else we got going on? Furious George says, got to watch your documentation video again. Yeah, go get it done. That's why I put it out there, right? Taekwon Gong asks if I used GOAD V2. Not V2 yet. Yeah, I've been so stinking busy with work and stuff and building a course. It's funny you say that because GOAD has been on my mind, like legit on my mind. I just got to finish up this Pentest Plus course. And then GOAD is definitely going to be a focus because I want to do some YouTube videos on it. And now the V2 is out. It's going to be awesome. Maybe get some Ludus going on with that. Who knows? Lots of great stuff capable of there. But yeah, GOAD is great. That's the game of Active Directory for those of you that don't know. It's a really easy way to spin up. And you can do it in virtual. You know, what are we doing? What am I doing? What is Daniel? Daniel's a crazy person. Let's do this. Thank you, message from Red Canary. Game of Active Directory. I think it's from Orange Security. Yeah, Cyber Defense. There you go. This will work for you in many, many ways. Let's see here. So, if you need a cyber lab for doing Active Directory learning on pen testing, security, whatever, this is what's up. This is kind of the gold standard at this point. And here's the available. Look at this thing. Look at this beautiful environment that you spin up in your virtualization, right? This is wonderful. So there's GOAD Mini right here, right in this area. So this is the small, and then here's GOAD Lite, where you get GOAD Mini and all these. So you've got these three, you've got users, you've got groups, you've got connections. Looks like we have multiple DCs, a different server, and it's purposefully vulnerable with bad misconfigurations and everything. And if you want to go with full GOAD, then you get like another forest with trust domains and everything like that going on. This is fire, guys. This is what's up. So I totally need to do some YouTubing on this, but maybe even like a full course on GOAD, because everybody knows that this is what's up. And of course, installation, excuse me, like I said, I want to say it works everywhere. This lab is extremely vulnerable, by the way. Just keep that in mind. Do not reuse this recipe to build your actual environment. That would be bad. But where's that? There you go. Documentation. Oh, this is GOAD V3, dude. V2, nothing. V3's out. That's what we want. Except, sure, whatever. And this is going to give you that walkthrough. You can do installation. Of course, I'm a Linux person, so I'll be doing it on Linux, but it does apparently also work on Windows. And if you're running VirtualBox, if you're running Vagrants, if you want to do this in cloud, right? What else we got here? Look at that. It's just a stinking shell script, bruh. This is awesome. So you'll need some Python. Look at that. They're running Venv, so you get in a Venv environment. Fairly straightforward stuff. And you can run it. And look, there's VMware Workstation. So if I'm running VMware Workstation, here's how I run it. So that was VirtualBox, VMware Workstation, running it in Azure, running it in AWS, running it in Proxmox. There's Ludus. Ludus is like it seems complex, but if you've got the horsepower, you just spin it up. You just grab the machine, you go, it's a bare metal install because it runs on Proxmox and Debian 12, but you spin it up, and at the end, you have GOAD, and it is running, and it works, and it's awesome. So, yeah. What is up right there? That's how you rock, my kids. Let me drop that in chat. That's Caldera. So let's go back. I'll give you this installation copy. Booyah. Chat it out. Booyah. Paste. And this time, I won't forget to hit enter. That'll be fun. And then I'll give you the GitHub for it as well. Great reference here. Not reference, but suggestion. Right? Come on. Where are we at? Let's go back to the... Okay. Thank you. Copy. Running out of time. Almost got 5 minutes left. Paste. Bang. Bang. Great references there. So get that home lab and going and play around with Active Directory. A lot of great stuff in Active Directory to mess around with. All right, let's check chat for a little bit. We got a few minutes left. Maybe get some questions or some cool references or whatever going on, suggestions. Let's see here. Bing, bing, bing. Yes, good stuff. Talking about documentation. Cyphodius made it this morning. I'm glad you did. Good to have you. Bearded IT Dad. I want to build a NAS with 3D print in the kit. Nice. That'd be cool. That would be super cool. Furious George. I highly recommend business grade devices over consumer grade. Refurb is the way to save money. Absolutely. The Hacking Lab is asking me, what mic is this? This is a fine microphone that I purchased not too long ago. Really inexpensive. I think it was like $70. And I saw it on sale right after for like $52. But I have been super happy with this microphone. Hopefully it's sounding great to everyone. My goodness, AI is so confusing. It can be, especially if you're looking to get into it like agentic AI and everything. The pain, how exactly do you document, say, setting up the network for your home lab beyond? Created these subnets, put the machine here. Yeah, that's a great question. How exactly do you do documentation? The cool thing is start with just anything. Make it ugly. Just make it the ugliest documentation, but think about, and then, so make it ugly, then go back and read it and go, could I follow this? Or have somebody, if you're wondering, I've got a link to our Discord server down in the description. You click that link, there's a whole area there that says rate my report. Now, it was meant for pen testing reports, but you can do anything. Documentation, like, here's what I've documented in my home lab. Here's what it looks like. Somebody give me some suggestions. All pen testers, I say all of them, good pen testers, they do peer review, and that's what that's for. You can make it more professional looking. Ask ChatGPT, hey, here's my documentation for my home lab. Help me clean this up. Help me make this look more professional. Are there any professional templates that I could use and utilize? Go on Google, search that out for there. Professional network documentation templates. Booyah, use one. Take what you like, leave what you don't. There is no standard necessarily for these things. So you can kind of wing it, but have other people take a look at it and go, what do you think about this? And that's the whole purpose of that Rate My Reports channel in our Discord, is so that we can drop that. And I have seen some people dropping some stuff in there, and I was really happy to see that. I would love to see more of that. All of us are going to benefit from that channel if more of us are utilizing it and creating I know creating documentation takes time, but it's totally worth it. And you're gonna like it because you did. So drop that stuff there, and then utilize those other tools like AI to be able to say, hey, are there templates? Can you help me? And to start making it look more professional, making it more usable. And there you go. FedEx says, are we getting a picture behind the camera lens and show us how you have those mini PCs connected and the sandwich and the switches and all that others? Yeah, it's a pretty simple setup. I do have them hardwired into my network switch. No, nothing crazy going on. I don't have a very complex setup. They're just, one's running Linux Mint, one's running Windows 11, and they're connected via a switch. Let's see here. I think that's about where we're at. We are at the 1 minute mark. I think, what's the link for the mic? Okay, yeah, let's go do that. Okay, we can show them some love. Let's jump in here and go to Amazon. And this is oh, come on. There we go. This is the fine microphone. I don't remember the actual name for it. That was the one I was gonna get, but then I saw this one. Oh, that one looks cool too, though. Like, now you got me shopping. So, oh no, that is the one. That's it right there. Booyah. Yep, that's what's up. Copy. Drop that in the chat. Get that out of your way. Put that there. Paste. And enter. Oh, you know what? The stinking link. I'll put it in the Discord server. I'll have to run this link through because it's too long. Let me run it through a URL shortener. Like Bitly. What is it? Or URL short. I can't think of the word now. Shortener. Booyah. That way you guys can see me do it. Paste. Shorten that URL. Copy that URL. And now what's up? We can put that in there. Bing, paste. Send it. There you go. So if you're looking for a microphone, yeah, this one, very inexpensive and has been just really good sounding, honestly. I've really been happy with this thing. All right. Let me check the chat for more questions. And then I know we're just a bit past the hour, but don't want to miss anything good. Rockstar, as always. Thank you, Bearded IT Dad. Thank you so much. Jesse Johnson. Right, but what is the microphone? I am in need of an upgrade. So it's a podcast mic. It's called the Fine XLR USB podcast dynamic microphone. I don't know the actual, what's the word I'm looking for? Model number, I guess. Doesn't say. Yeah, Tank 3. I don't know. You know, doesn't give me a model number, kids. Why? Oh yeah, there it is. Model name Tank 3. Booyah! Found it. I knew we could do it. Okay, looks like we're out of steam for today. Hopefully everybody has enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for watching, as always. Appreciate everyone who shows up. It's always a good time, had by all. And yeah, until next week, we'll do it all again. And yeah, keep hacking. See you then, guys. Have a great day.